Hey, greetings, guide bushing gurus and greenhorns. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Scott with GenSwiss.
Hi, I'm Bill Fletcher, Northeast Regional Sales Manager.
And I'm the technical supervisor here.
There we go.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us again. We're gonna kind of dig into some kind of a hot button issue.
I guess it is because everybody's looking to make things simple and save some time.
And one of our biggest things here at GenSwiss is to make the machinist's job easier. That's a big motto of ours. So we're going to go over quick change products today. Actually, not even every single quick change product we have. We're going to go over some of the core ones or some of the more exciting ones first. So a lot of people are really having a hard time filling machinist positions lately. At least I hear that from a lot of our users, in that it's difficult to find people who are qualified to run CNC Swiss equipment, and it's on the shops to do the training and get people up to speed in order to be able to run that kind of equipment. We have a good array of products that are helpful in that once you get somebody with some of the foundational stuff in terms of skills to run the machines, to help facilitate getting them more productive quicker.
I hear this every place I go. They don't have enough people, they don't have enough time, and the problem is that the talent pool or the technical ability on the floor is spread so thin. Quite often when you go into a team of Swiss operators, there's going to be perhaps one team lead, and there may be an associate or assistant to help him, and now you've got 3, 4, 5, 10 operators operating anywhere from 10 to 30 machines, and they just don't have the ability to keep all these machines running because the staff has basically got such a short leash of experience.
Yeah.
And they just, and I hear this all the time, do you have anything that will make my life easier by making the people operating the machines easier?
Yes, something that can just streamline setups,
Yeah.
or repeat setups, quick changeover, or from what I've heard from a lot of people too is stuff that can make it so that the third shift guy doesn't need to rely on anybody else. He'll have the product or the tooling all preset, ready to go, so that they can
Stuff waiting in the wings that's already been set up, and just change and get back to work.
get back to work, get that door closed. That's
Yep.
the goal. Keep that the door closed on the machine. So the product I want to really go into first is one that it's not necessarily a new product here at GenSwiss. We've had it for a very long time, but it's recently undergone some major changes in terms of redesign and upgrade. It's got higher precision. And then availability as well. We've got significant amounts of available product on the shelf ready to go for immediate delivery. And that's part of our GenQuick system. So this is a ER tool holder system, and we'll demonstrate it here on the screen for you. This is it's kind of an ER to ER module. This is our round shank product. So this would be good for products or cutting tools like drills. You could use it on a live tool like for end mills,
Okay.
and that sort of thing. But what this does is it gives the skilled professionals in the shop the ability to preset these offline to a set length. So now you've got a whole array of all your ID tools ready to go that you can give on a tray, preset and labeled for an operator to reference and use to quickly change over round tools as needed during the course of their shift. We also have the shanks that go alongside with it. So there's a whole range of different shank diameters depending on the machine that you're working on. So like Citizen machines are really popular for 3/4 and 1 inch shanks, where if you're working on a Star machine or a Sagami machine, it's usually metric. It's usually going to be like a 20 millimeter or a 22 millimeter. And we have the shanks that pair with it also readily available in a variety of lengths. And the other great thing about it is they're cooling through. So every single time we do one of these videos, we're talking about our products. There's a lot about coolant through. Coolant through is really important just for the types of materials that Swiss machines are commonly cutting and machining. You need to have the ability to deliver the high pressure. So this whole system is designed to work with your high pressure coolant system.
You can see the timing flats, and is it side port entry?
Side port entry, so you
makes
can
it
connect
easy.
into the
Yep.
side here. We got it up on the screen again. Yep, there we go. So there's an M5 by 0.8 port, which
Okay.
is our standard on everything that we offer here at GenSwiss. It goes into our turning shanks. It goes into our ID tools. we've got that as a standard. So all the plumbing kits that we offer as well.
But later we're going to show you just how significant our plumbing supplies are here.
Yes, we'll get into those details as well. They're kind of quick change in themselves because there's a lot of quick connect capability there for the high pressure delivery. Yeah. But this is available in ER to 16 to ER 11. We have them in ER 20 to 16.
Yep.
And different nut sizes for the middle here. So depending on what you're working on, if you're going to work with one of our products, this uses the mini nut style standard for the threads.
Okay.
But we also have some that have the bigger thread style, because some of the live tools that are out there, like say for example on an ER16, you're going to be using on a mini nut, you're going to use an M19 by 1.
Okay.
But the live tooling you might be working with that you want to put this on might be an M22 by 1.5, but still be an ER16 taper. So we have 2 assemblies for them depending on where you're going to be working.
Right. To be able to accommodate that. The thing that's really cool about this is that as Scott mentioned earlier, every one of these can be preset, which is great. Everybody these days now, if you have a shop of significance, you're going to have a presetter. And isn't it wonderful? So that while machines are running and they're making chips and they're making productive parts, these can be all set with everything that these match up to, waiting in the wings. They've gone through a presetter. They're all set to go. Now, what you're essentially asking an inexperienced operator to do is basically carefully place a wrench on the end,
use a wrench,
loosen a nut, and take something out, put it in, lock it down, push a button, and go back to work.
You're going back to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So that's for the round tools. We do have another aspect of it, and this one's kind of really neat in how this functions as well. So this would be for boring tools. So boring tools, as everybody knows, needs to have an orientation for where the cutting edge goes. And it's got to be radially positioned. And it also needs to be aligned to the direction of travel on your axis. So setting that up normally might be a little bit difficult depending on the product that you might be utilizing for boring. So what you could do is take these modules that we offer, which have set screws every 90 degrees around the OD. So depending on where the locating flat is in the boring product that you're using, these are universal. You can use them with just about any kind of boring product that's out there that has a flat on the shank, or grind your own flats if you need to. But it gives you some good flexibility. But you've got the ability to lock in the positioning of the boring bar on the module. And then when you pair it with our shanks that these are designed to work with, you've got a datum that you can reference and get
point of reference, timing flat on the shank itself, and then a very specific place for the pin to set in to orient your tool.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep. So you've got the ability to set these things axially offline using a presetter, and then radially by using the locating pin that's built into it. And that pairs with the entire GenQuick line of shanks that we offer, the coolant through line of shanks. These are nice because we also offer some double-ended ones.
I was noticing that we have you have the singles as well as you have doubles.
Yep. So some of the machines, you've got ID positions that come down off of your gang and kind of like a dog leg, and you'd be double-end working where you have some stuff facing the guide bush, or you could have some stuff facing the sub-spindle. And we've got ports at both ends. This is blind internally here, so there's not a channel between the two. So you could run a line this way or this way, depending on.
So you're only sending coolant where you want it.
Where you want it. You're not going to be dividing it between two. So if this side's in the cut, you're not going to be flowing out this side. So it's a nice quick solution for that kind of a application.
Yeah, that's again, it's very convenient, and of course they're made right here in Westfield, Massachusetts.
This is a signature product line for
absolutely.
us. Yes. Yep.
And as we tell everybody, if we make it here and you don't see exactly what you want, there's a possibility that we could make slightly custom or special applications. So don't be afraid to say, "Hey, I saw that in your catalog, or I saw that on your website. I wonder if that might be available with a certain ID or certain positioning, or could a special be made?" And the answer is yes. Just
I like to think that we've thought of everything ahead of time and covered a lot of the bases.
Sure.
But the capability is there. If something is needed, special, a unique operation or a unique solution, we could definitely work on getting that quoted. Our applications team is able to stand by and assist with that. So
it's a nice broad range too. Metric sizes, inch standards.
Yep.
It's a heck of a range.
Yep.
So we got just about everything covered in that area.
Pretty
so,
straightforward to work with and ordering. Easy to choose what you need.
All right,
and then, of
cool.
course, if you've got questions, always give our team a call inside. We'll be more than happy to jump on there and make some suggestions.
Beautiful.
So,
all right. Well, that's the quick. That's the Gen Quick.
The Gen Quick.
Or we sometimes call it this,
The CQS system.
line.
CQS stands for Change Quick System.
Yeah.
And when you reference our catalog, that's going to be the nomenclature that follows. CQS means the Gen Quick product line.
Actually, what's great about the catalog is that this is sort of like this is the introductory product grouping that will bring you through a whole series of great ideas for saving time and simplifying some tricky applications. And that's really, that whole section of the catalog is going to be very interesting reading.
Yep, absolutely. I think that covers that one pretty good.
Yeah. Next one's kind of near and dear to my heart.
This one's actually a
fabulous system.
I know I say it a lot. I always say, oh, this is one of my favorite products. But when I say that, I'm not lying.
Yeah.
I really like this product a lot. This is one that it's been a long time product for us from Utilities. We bring these in out of Switzerland. This is called the Microbore. And it's a boring line, kind of similar to what we're talking about over here, where this uses an ER to quickly locate boring tools, and it's like semi-universal, where you can use just about any kind of product. This is a self-contained system, a complete ID working system, but it's quick change and incredibly repeatable. This is one of the things that I like to show people at shows. We're going to try to do the best demonstration we possibly can through the video here today, but I think this is one that if you ever do come and see us at a show, get your hands on this product and try it out yourself, because you really have to feel the fit between the bar and the shank. So what this consists of is a tool holder shank that would go into your machine. You'd pick out the shank diameter for whatever machine you're working on. So again, inch or metric. And we have all the popular sizes. And we've got them in various lengths too. So we got the stubby ones here for today's purposes, but there's some that are actually double the length. So if you have to get a little bit of reach, there's that ability too.
Yep.
And kind of similar to how we had on the Gen Quicks over here, where we've got the positioning.
Timing flats.
Flats. We've got flats, again, every 45 degrees on this. So depending on where you're going to be in the machine and how you want to orient your bar, you've got the ability to do so. And now the real secret sauce of this, and these have been copied many times over by the competition, but there's a lot of stuff that they still omitted when they were reworking this. And we'll get to that in a moment. But the big thing with these is there's a 45-degree angle on the back end of the shank that mates to a carbide stop pin on the holder itself. So when an operator comes time to change one of these and slide it back into the tool bore, pushing it back axially as far as it can go, it automatically self-indexes and brings the radial and axial positioning within, I believe, about 4/10 or better. It repeats within 4/10,000ths or better. So that's nice and tight.
One of the things that's actually, they say you got to see it to believe it. One of the things about this system is I've always been amazed was the relationship of the ID of this holder to the shank on this tool. It is genuinely a slip fit. When you slide this in, and you can really appreciate it by doing it in person, you slide that in. There is no play. The tolerances on those are so tight, it's almost like a vacuum. And again, there's only one of two possible positions. So if you put the tool back in the way it came out, you're going to be right on the money again. But the relationship, there is no play there at all. And it's almost a micro finish on here. So that will slide into position there, holding that. The other thing is, if you look very carefully, there's incredibly fine threading on this. Mm-hmm. I actually, before we came on the air, it almost takes 19 revolutions to run that nut down. But please note, I'm doing it with my fingertips.
That's one of the great things about the system. So a lot of other quick change microboring products that are out there require the use of a key, like an Allen key or a screwdriver or a flag tip Torx driver, something like that. This requires absolutely no hand tools. You just use your thumb and forefinger, and that is all it takes to give it the strength that it needs in the amount of rigidity and the holding power.
Fingertip.
Finger tight.
And it's done.
Finger tight. So the real big benefit there is it does eliminate one big problem that people have with quick change, and that's over torquing.
Okay.
Over torquing quick change tools is a huge no-no because it's going to distort pockets, it's going to distort holders,
Yeah.
and it's going to change positions of the product itself. But with this, as long as nobody's using vice grips, and I always joke with people when I show customers on their shop floor, you see a guy with vice grips, you fire him because he shouldn't be using that with this. Finger tight is all it takes, and that'll get you back to where you need to be within about 4/10 of where you were with the previous bar.
This is really great. The system works exceptionally well. There's an actual manufactured flat or land on the bar itself, and I'll extend that out so you can see it maybe. And I'll hold that there. See if I can get that.
I think you got to get down here a
And
little
maybe
lower.
down here.
Yeah,
there you go.
You got it.
You can actually see the land or the flat there. That is what the cap or the nut is actually grabbing a hold of and driving at. This ring snaps into place and sets on that flat. And when that interfaces with the nut, what you're doing literally is you're just pulling that ring and that bore bar back into position. Mm-hmm. And that's all it takes to hold this thing firmly, securely, and the repeatability is amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. The other thing that's really there it is.
Yeah, we got it up on the screen there. So it's kind of showing the ID groove and the way it interfaces. Mm-hmm. A little demonstration on our
show block
here. So if you come by a show, that's what you're going to see it mounted into that tool block.
Yeah. Scott, show them the front end of that bore bar.
Okay, so some of the geometry stuff. The really nice thing about this, like I said earlier, it's a complete ID working system. There is somewhere in the realm of about 20 different geometries. Some are for boring, ID grooving, ID threading. You name
tree
it.
Panning, undercutting,
tree panning,
everything.
Axial profiling at the bottom of a blind hole. You could do that with this. So you can imagine all those kinds of things in a micro hole. Your repeatability and positioning data is going to be imperative that it's perfect, and this is really one of the epitome of you get what you pay for types of a product. Sure. This is going to take care of all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, getting a little bit more into some of the geometry on this, one of the really important features is the multifacets that you can see around the cutting bar neck.
So
you can see how it's kind of flashing in the reflection. Yeah, exactly. So those are all almost like jeweled facets, like you would see on like a gemstone, basically. But these are all different thicknesses. And the reason for them being different thicknesses or different widths is it makes some irregularity to the boring bar.
So rather than leaving a pure uniform cylindrical, that's a great shot on the screen right now. Instead of leaving a pure cylindrical surface, what they've done is they put a series of, I guess you'd call them irregular bevels. And what that does is that it kills the harmonics. If you have a cutting tool in contact with metal and you've got uniformity going back from the cutting edge, you're apt to build up harmonics. Harmonics are a killer for cutting edges, particularly in micro applications and that. And what these facets do is actually break up the harmonics. Now,
you don't want it to be a tuning fork.
Exactly.
And that's
you don't want it humming.
That's what it does, is it breaks up that vibration.
And think about this. Look at the size of that bore bar, okay? A lot of stability, a lot of beam strength. That's really cool. When you start getting into small bore bars, and we are talking about the ability to get into some openings as small as 0.017 or 017.
About 17 thou.
Okay,
minimum
that's
bore
small.
size.
You're going to stick something in there that's going to look like an old photograph
phonograph needle. Phonograph needle.
And now you got this tiny little thing going on the inside. It's going to want to start humming. That kills it. It keeps it dead quiet in the cut. And it does a phenomenal job on micro applications.
Yep. So you can see all that stuff there, I mean, really benefits from having the ability to change that quickly as well. And then last feature here, again, talking about coolant. This entire system is coolant through. It doesn't matter the bar that you've got in here. They've all got coolant ports with the coolant capability.
Yeah. Jason, if we could bring that slide back up to the front that showed the front end of the bore bar. There's a really good shot of the front end, and it shows the actual, there you can actually see that is the coolant flow system that actually flows through every one of the bore bars. It's coming out at the butt end at the 45, and the flow is coming down through the middle, that firing right on the cutting edge.
Yep.
It's a great system.
It's like I said when we first started, it's definitely one of my favorite products to demonstrate at a trade show, simply because of the way that this fits and the way that it orients itself. And it's just such a good all-around ID working tool.
Yeah. Jay, I believe we also have a illustration of a diagram that shows all of the different applications and the possibilities for this bore bar system.
Yeah, if we could bring that up.
There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, what can't you do?
You can
with
do
this
it
system?
all. You can do it all. And specials are available in this as well. We can do them on request. So if you need one that has a little bit more neck length than what the catalog's calling out, there's some capability there. We can put some additional clearance in. We've done unique forms that were 100% custom, dedicated to a very specific, long-running product at some of our customers' facilities. So they can integrate this into a system that they know their operators are going to be able to change over bars quickly. And it might be a product where, with whatever their existing process is, might be giving them a hard time because it might be something that's really finicky to set up. And this alleviates some of the setup there. So it definitely justifies itself real quick.
So you've got an extremely fine cutting tool, extremely tight tolerances, outstanding base material, and then of course appropriate coatings.
Appropriate
Correct.
coatings. We can do it in the usual HX coating, but we also can do them on request in the new TX, which is great for the really hard materials.
High heat.
Yep.
High heat type stuff. So yeah, it's a great system.
Yep.
So big range too of 4, 6, and 8 millimeter shanks as
Yep.
well. And
Oh, that's a great point. We didn't really
Yeah.
cover on that. It does go. So we mentioned the minimum we can go down to is about 17 thousandths minimum bore size.
Yep.
This maxes out around. This is probably one of the bigger ones here. This is close to 8 millimeter. So that's really where the lion's share of applications that this product fits really well is within that spectrum. And I usually recommend it more often than not in the 4 millimeter size and smaller bores. That's really the sweet spot. Because when we start to get into some of the bigger diameters, we do have other products available to us that we can also recommend that can get those kinds of jobs done.
That's probably the cool carb alignment. We'll talk about that on another show.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay.
So I think that covers that.
All right, great.
The last product we wanted to talk about today is brand new. So brand new, in fact, that we don't cover all bases with it just yet, but we're really excited about it, and I think that it's something that's going to be fairly revolutionary to the industry, and we wanted to bring it up onto the show today. So this is our new Multideck Lube quick change plate from Utilities. This is an addition to the Multideck Lube system that we've had for the last decade or so. For those who don't know, the Multideck Lube is the coolant through wedge system that we've offered for a while, where you can retrofit your existing tool plate. There you go, right there. There's an example. Taking the standard wedge off of your tool plate and replacing it with one that has coolant ports and coolant jets that are integrated into it. The benefit there is it gives you the ability to do a one-time setup of your coolant and save you a ton of time on your setups. You're not going to have to worry about bending lines anymore and directing coolant jets because it's all integrated. The Multideck Lube plate that we've got in front of us takes it one step further. So now we've got the ability to add very repeatable quick change that's built into the plate. And one of my favorite aspects about it, you don't have to use special shanks that go with it. So every other quick change system that I've seen out there on the market lately, it requires you to use a very purpose-built niche holder from whoever manufactured the quick change solution, and you're pigeonholed into that one
You're
brand.
going to use my top section. You got to use my bottom.
You're only going to be stuck with whatever geometry it is that manufacturer has in their catalog. This does not get you stuck in any one manufacturer's tooling catalog. So if there's a specific type of a carbide geometry that you've maybe got a lot of it in your tool crib already and you want to continue to utilize it, this plate enables you to use it in a quick change manner because it works with any square shank tool. But the other fantastic benefit to it is we've also got, you can kind of see it here. Yeah, we'll bring it up so you can see it on the camera. We got coolant jets. Coolant jets are all built into the wedges. So not only are you establishing your coolant connection once, you don't have to touch it again because it's all going to be integrated and it runs through the plate itself and delivers through the individual wedges and comes out the bottom here.
Plumbing included.
Plumbing is all included.
Right.
And you can turn it on and off. So you can see on each of these things here we've got switching valves. So you could turn the flow on and off. Sometimes you might not necessarily need full high-pressure coolant on, well, maybe a threading tool, for instance. You might be doing a very short short cut, very short interrupted thread, single point thread, and you're not going to get a lot of chip where you have to worry about controlling it. So you could turn that guy off, but leave it on your cutoff.
Cut off or deep turns or any large stock removal where you're going to get
something where you're going to get a chip, yeah. And then you can see up top here, there's dovetail keyways that are all set with positive stops. So these are all adjustable. So you can have whoever your professional is, the setup guy, the main guy who's getting all the machines up and going, he can establish all these stops, and then you can have your operator run production.
Your lesser experienced operator has the ability to loosen, remove a holder, and replace it.
Beautiful. And get up and running again.
Yeah.
So
the coolant jets on these are unique too. Is that it's not just a couple of nozzles just willy-nilly firing down. There's actually a very distinct pattern of a straight flow and a crisscross flow.
Yeah, they actually intersect.
Yeah, so it's sort of like catching your chip in a crossfire. So you're not only delivering coolant where you're going to provide heat removal, but you're getting great lubricity and you're getting chip movement. You're moving that chip out of the way as it's developing. So this system's got it all. They actually, when they make these specific to the machine, and I believe they'll even go so far as to make a solid model to confirm fitting.
Yeah, so we don't have it available for every single make and model yet. That's one of the things that we're working on. Yeah. Some of the more popular stuff, I know we've got, this one here is for a Citizen machine. We do have it available for the SR, the Star SR series machines, and I think there might even be a couple Sagami ones, and we definitely have them for the Tornos Nano machine, which is where I think that's actually the birthplace of these.
Sure.
Because those tiny little machines, it's really good to have some kind of a micro tool, quick change solution in there. So that's one of the first places it was developed.
Those machines have really tight tooling packages, and there's not a lot of room. And if you can make life easy when you get into those small confines, boy, your life's going to be a lot nicer.
Yep. Yeah. But if there's a make and model out there that we don't have this created for just yet, we could definitely work together and get that all done up. We do have one in process right now. We've got a solid model that we've been discussing with the customer who's actually going to be implementing it. So they're able to kind of take a look at it and make sure everything's going to fit beforehand to taking delivery of the actual final product. So
excellent.
It's good. It's been going good so far, and I'm really excited about this. I think it's a great solution.
Yeah. And again, I just want to use this one prop here as actually a kit, which we use in sales presentations to reinforce the concept that, if we move that out
we'll bring this guy out of the side here.
There we go. I'd like to show this if we can. I mentioned earlier about our ability to help people with plumbing. If any of your accounts that are running Swiss operations that need high-pressure hose, banjos, MPTs, manifolds, if you need plumbing help, we've got the plumbing material here in Westfield, and we've got the people who can coach you into, this is what you want to do, I can help you with that. We even have simplified kits, and we strongly recommend people have those because you never know when you're going to have to change. Today we're going to move a cutting operation from position 1 to position 3. I don't have the plumbing to do that. I do now because I bought a kit, and I have that sitting right where it belongs, and now I know right away that I have the hardware. If I don't have the hardware, pick up the phone, call GenSwiss, talk to tech support, and we'll get you fixed up with what you need to do your plumbing.
Yep.
And that, so.
Yep. So on that note, the really nice thing about this kit right here, we're talking about quick change.
Yep.
There's a beautiful quick release system in here. We'll show that real quick. So here's your an example of some of the hose lengths that we offer. And this is a really stubby one because it's part of the demo salesman's kit. But imagine this thing being 5-6 inches long. And then you've got the ability here to click these guys together. So these are usually covered in oil, and when you're working in a Swiss machine, your hands are all oil and everything like that. Sometimes this kind of thing can be kind of a headache to work with. It doesn't take a lot of pressure to click and release these things, but this will withstand 2,000 psi of high pressure cutting oil pressure from your cool pump. So this is a beautiful kit, and this will get you where you need to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be paired with the quick change plate. This is semi-universal. You can order it a la carte, pick what you want, and go down the path that you want that you want to do for solving your plumbing needs in your Swiss machine.
If you look at our catalog under the wedge system, you'll also see all of our different standard offerings for high-pressure hoses, fittings, and that. Once again, if you don't find what you need, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call and ask for it.
We'll figure out how to get from point A to point B. Make sure you're connecting the oil from where it needs to go.
Well, I think we talked about everything we had planned today, a little sneak preview. This is just the tip of the iceberg in regards to quick change ability. If you get into that section of the catalog that begins with our GenQuick system, you're going to lead yourself right into, and I'll put this up as a little teaser, that is our tie lock system, and we'll be dedicating a program to that. That is a unique system, and talk about the ultimate in quick change capability and having them preset.
Yep.
And this is a product that can be used within a Swiss environment, also very popular outside of a Swiss as well. So lots of really cool things in regards to saving time, headache, utilization of the talent that you have on the floor. We're listening to our customers and delivering what they're asking for. So a lot of solutions here at GenSwiss.
Yep. And on that note, if you need solutions, you can always go to the website. We've got forms on there for submitting custom requests on product, whether you're looking for an individual quick change thing or some of our other products like broaching or the tie lock product. There's all request forms on there for submitting custom needs on that. And you can always send inquiries into sales@genswiss.com for quote inquiries, or if you've got tech inquiries, you can send it to tech support@genswiss.com.
Or pick up the phone and call.
Or pick up the phone and call. We love hearing from you.
Somebody's going to get on the phone with you and help you send blueprints, drawings. We'll fix you up. That's what we're here to do.
We guarantee that you're going to get a person when you call. So
being able to do that. So with that, I think we're set to go. Keep the coolant flowing and the chips rolling. And thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.